So my name is Jessika Van Leeuwen. I live in the Netherlands and I am participating in the upcoming European elections as a candidate for the party which is called BBB, which we call Farmer Citizen Movement. And I'm in position number 2 on the candidate list.
Les élections, l'engagement des jeunes.
La participation des jeunes.
80% des jeunes qui vont pas voter.
L'abstention.
9 juin.
Pour vous, pourquoi les élections européennes sont-elles importantes pour les jeunes? Pourquoi est-ce que c'est un scrutin qui nous concerne en tant que jeunes?
I think it's very important that young people understand that within the European Union, it is decided what our lives will look like in the near future, in the next coming 5, 10, 15 years. So this is definitely going to affect your near future. And because 70% of the laws that we have in our member state countries actually have their origin in the European Union.
Merci. Quels sont les enjeux clés de cette élection européenne et comment peuvent-ils affecter la jeunesse européenne?
That's a good one. It is a little bit depending on every member state of what is coming up as the major theme for the elections. But we can see that there are probably 3 to maybe 4 themes throughout all the member states. A very important one, of course, is defense and security. We have a war with Ukraine, we have the war in Gaza, we have a lot of uneasy situations in our borders, and it is important that we take action and we do it together, because that's when we're stronger. That doesn't mean that we should have a joint army, but at least that we think about, okay, how can we organize ourselves and which way how do we want to protect the European Union, which is the base of Europe, protection of the civilians. Another one is migration, big theme. I think that's also a big theme in France. We have seen unprecedented volumes of people seeking asylum within the European Union. So we have to consider how to handle this, because if one member state has a different policy than another member state, that may mean that they will just enter freely and travel from one member state to the other. So that is not helping if we don't do a collective organization as the European Union. And then a third one, which is very important also for my own party, is called autonomy in food production. With these geopolitical questions and with what happened in the COVID crisis, we have seen that we are very dependent on other continents when it comes to different things like medication also and different technologies. But food is the number one thing we all need. You know, we all eat 3 times a day, so being more autonomous on food production definitely is an important theme as well. And that's that maybe one thing to add there, because one of the things we also discussed is the climate, and of course climate change also affects how and where we can produce our food within Europe. So we need to reconsider how to organize ourselves.
Quels sont les programmes ou les politiques spécifiques que votre parti ou votre mouvement souhaite promouvoir pour améliorer la vie des jeunes en Europe?
That's a very big one, because if you look at the program, all the programs basically, there's specific points that parties want to do. But if you look at the high over what we're trying to do to improve life, first of all, we need to decide which route do we want to go. And that's where we already have the political differences. So do you want to go towards a Europe which is on the road to become very sustainable, zero emission by 2050? That has consequences. So that is affecting quality of life of young people. Do you want to take the route where you say, no, I'm more towards promoting free trade? That is going to be a different influence. So if you ask me, how do you specifically want to improve the life of young people? We believe it's very important to have this autonomy on food production, to make sure that there is life also in the rural areas. So life does not only need to develop for young people in the cities, but they have a future and they have the possibility to work and live also close to the place where their family lives and their parents live in rural communities. So not everybody needs to move to the city. So that is a very important aspect of what we're trying to promote. Then we also have very clear ideas on how do we want to make sure that we manage the amount of people that enter the European Union. We do that in a humane way, but in such a way that we can still provide our young people with sufficient houses. In the Netherlands, that is a big problem. Young people cannot find a place to live because there's no houses. There's not enough construction, and there's not enough houses available. So this migration volume also influences houses that are available. So those are big themes, but yes, if you strip it down, you see that that's a big influence for young people as well.
Ok. Peut-être une dernière ou avant-dernière question. Comment votre parti ou vous, en tant que candidate, vous communiquez, notamment pour que les jeunes électeurs puissent se mobiliser et voter aux élections européennes?
Well, we do a lot of publicity on social media. We have a very engaged young part of our party. So that is within our own party. We have a union of young people, and they call themselves BBB Young. And they are very, very proactive in reaching out to young people and speaking out to them and saying, listen, this is a very important elections coming up and you should vote.
Ok. Peut-être une dernière question. En une phrase, très rapidement, si vous deviez motiver un jeune à aller voter, qu'est-ce que vous lui diriez?
You have to go and vote because this vote is so much more influential than a vote for the national elections, because the number of people that go to vote is less. So one vote means more. So you really have a big say in what the future looks like and which people are going to be there in place to look after your interests. Super, mais je pense que c'est une très bonne initiative et je vous souhaite beaucoup de chance avec tout ça parce que c'est super de vouloir engager des jeunes, pas seulement avec les élections, mais avec tout dans la société parce qu'on a besoin de ça.
Oui.
Des perspectives jeunes aussi. Sinon, tout le monde est grand et vieux et non.
Ouais, et ça avance pas, quoi. C'est ça.
Exactement, ça avance pas, c'est toujours le même truc. Alors il y a besoin de perspectives jeunes. Merci beaucoup pour ça.
Merci à vous. Et puis, on vous souhaite une très bonne journée. Bonne
Merci.
continuation et bonne chance pour la campagne.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Merci. Au revoir.
Salut.